nigga don't do romance. Wake up, I give thanks to the Lord in advance. This gon' be my baby band. I went and put God as my bows on my pants. Okay, you wouldn't understand. This wasn't luck, it was planned. Baby girl, this a new 17, Donnie McClurkin. I'ma keep skating on shit cause it's working. I've been that nigga since 15. You can't be my baby, this Billie Jean. Give up my soul up to God, my spirit clean.
Welcome to the Perspective Podcast. Josue here. As you guys already know, I'm from the Democratic Republic of Congo. I preach at times, but we're really not here to talk about that. I attended the University of Oral Roberts. That's not really a thing, but it's okay. We're going to make it work. Yeah. And to my right, we have Mr. Chase Brown. He was born in Texas. He attended University of North Texas. See, that's what messed me up. He's an aspiring philanthropic creative, and it is September 18th. And it's raining outside, but he still loves very long walks on the beach. Why that is, I'm not sure. We won't get into that today. Chase Brown, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Be doing better if after, episode 88 right here?
I think so.
If, you get that intro right?
I thought my intro was good, but...
well, that's what happens when you're using my phone rather than yours.
That's true. It messed me up.
Dang, man.
But messed me up.
Doing really well. Got one of my favorite rappers in the building right here, so can't be doing bad. But yeah, bro, how are you?
I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm a little bit hungry, but we're not really here to discuss if I'm hungry or not.
You in the cut, you be chilling?
Yeah, I'm always in the cut, but that's just me though. But yeah, I mean, as you guys already know, whenever we have a podcast, we try to bring you guys a special guest. And today we really had to reach far to bring our guest. We got him flew out all the way from Africa, you know, the motherland, as the people like to say, hailing all the way from Ghana. You know, he's one of the people from Ghana. You know, I don't even know what they speak over there, but hopefully we'll be able to get into that today. According to my notes here that I have pulled up, it says that he's a 3-time Ghanaian Rapper of the Year. I mean, that's a really big accomplishment. As some people might say, he's from the great state of Maryland. Shout out to the DMV. I threw you guys a little sign. And according to Brother Chaz Smith, you know, he plays basketball the same way that he raps, and we're hoping to get into that today. And according to our very own brother Hovey, his rap makes him want to comb his hair. What that means, I have no idea. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you would quote, that is a very direct quote. Yes, we got it from the source. So, if we could please put our hands together for brother Foggy over here.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together.
Let's go
for the amazing. Marvelous, wow, spectacular.
Even Jay-Z doesn't get an intro like that.
No,
not at all.
Fogtavious Vandross.
There you go, bro. How have you been, man?
I've been wonderful, guys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Looking that way, bro.
Oh, you know, I try, something light.
So he's actually not that young. I thought he was like 19.
We're not gonna talk about that.
I'm not. But he's like, I thought he was 19. But during some conversations, I realized
man,
that was
300.
not the case. 300. That's the
300.
best interview I had seen.
Yeah.
She said, so how old are you?
300.
He said 300.
That's all you gotta know. 300.
Yeah, the mug was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing, man, bro. We're happy to have you on. Thanks for making the time, making the drive up, and all of that.
You drove from Ghana?
You know, I drove from Ghana.
Yeah.
Drove the land from Ghana, man. The miles, I really didn't want to put the miles at first, but I was like,
that's wild.
Might as well put them on.
You can do it as a tax write-off, I think.
Yeah. It's business.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, not personal, strictly business.
You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, bro, to get into it, what does Foggy Raw even mean?
Ladies and gentlemen, in the comments, you guys got to kill Chase because they know it's not Foggy Raw.
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
Foggy Raw.
It's like the fog outside, yeah.
Yes. But, so Foggy Raw, pretty much, it doesn't actually mean anything. But it is like a neighborhood nickname. Like it was Fogg Raw, and Fogg Raw came from this Nike basketball commercial where they had like Kevin Durant, Mo Williams, Rashard Lewis, and I think one other player, and then they had Andre Iguodala, and it was like the song used to be, "We just be hyper rising, why y'all be criticized." Y'all remember that?
Nah.
Okay, so they had that commercial, right? And then Mo Williams. He had his verse. He was like, "Player hating on the player. Girl, I'll see you later. I just got in Fogg Raw. I'm the mayor." And he had rings. One hand said Fog, the other said Raw. So I was like, damn, like I need that name. So I made it my Facebook name, and then everybody in the neighborhood would just call me Foggy Raw. So that was my Instagram name. Then my rap name used to be J.O., but it was too hard to search it. Like people couldn't find me.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me just make it Fog. Or I think Foggy Raw was gone. I couldn't take the @ name, so I just made it Foggy, and then that's how it came about.
Yeah.
Literally.
So I've actually haven't asked anybody this yet, since that's your name now that people call you and address you. Do people actually know your real name? Like, is that a?
So it's on the internet.
Okay.
So and it made me mad too, because sometimes like fans be trying to get cute. They'll be like, oh, blah blah blah, your real name, and I'm like, wait, nobody told you that. Yeah, people know it. Some people do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if that's something that people call you all the time, at some point it's like, man, what's my name?
Nah.
You got to forget your own name.
Because the super important people in your life, they always gonna call you your real name.
That's true.
So, yeah.
So everybody else is just a fan.
Yeah.
I won't say that, but you know what I mean.
I got you. I'm not trying to get you in trouble or anything. That's real.
No, it's funny, man. So getting to music and how it came around. So when did you get your start in music? How did that interest even come around? All of that.
So in music, it was pretty much when I came to America at 5. My dad was immediately like, "You're gonna play piano," and I really didn't want to play piano. So
you want to go back there and play it all?
Oh, I don't remember how to play it.
okay.
But yeah. But he actually would make me go to these classes. Then I was actually like becoming really good. Like I was going to recitals, winning maybe second, third place sometimes. So I was good, but I really didn't like it. So I was like, Dad, can I stop? He's like, you can't stop, but you can play a different instrument. So I was like, all right, I'll play saxophone. So he's like, all right, but you can play that. So I played that. So that was like the start of my music. Then when I went to college, I started rapping. Like, some of my friends, they would rap, so I started rapping with them. That's how I started, and then I loved it, so I just never stopped.
That's really interesting because coming from okay, let me phrase it this way. Where we're from, back home, music isn't really a goal, a push to go towards.
Yeah.
You gotta be a doctor, an engineer, and all those different things. So did he want you to do music just for the sake of doing something, or was that like a career kind of goal that he maybe had for you? Or
So it definitely wasn't a career thing. Like I think it was probably just like some destiny type stuff. Like, because my dad, he's not like one of them artistic parents that's like, but he just was, for some reason, like, you have to play an instrument. So even like when I would like, I feel like now I'm realizing like, dang, like I'm pretty musically inclined, but growing up I didn't even realize that I was musically inclined because I've just been playing instruments my whole life, so I think everybody plays instruments. So yeah, it definitely, like, that push definitely helped me for sure. For sure.
Yeah, man. And it's funny how like little things that parents do like that can actually have like a big impact, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Because like for me, like I didn't want to play. So give you background, I played lacrosse in college and started playing it my freshman year of high school.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to.
Yeah.
And the only reason I did was because my parents pushed me to.
Yeah.
And because Fat Chase at the time didn't want to do track. And so I was like, all right, anything to get me out of track during off season for football, I'm down. But yeah, little things like that. Like I wouldn't have played lacrosse in college if it wasn't for my parents.
Yeah, I remember my first time. Jeez, this is the worst story. So my first time playing the drums, it was at my dad's church.
Okay. Church.
So my brother was the one that was normally playing, during the service. And for some reason, he didn't show up that day. So I think someone was playing the piano and the people were singing. I don't know what came over me. I don't know what possessed me. I was in the 8th grade. I walked up there and people were just staring like, what is going on? But you're the pastor's kid, so no one's going to tell you nothing, So I walk up there, I sit down, and people are just staring at me. And so I'm staring at them. I never played the drums a day in my life. I pick up the stick and I start playing.
And it was decent?
Terrible.
Oh, I was about to say, that would have been crazy.
I was terrible.
I would imagine.
Oh my God. It was, It was so bad. Because the crazy part about that story is I have another brother who did the exact same thing with the piano.
Yeah.
But his was flawless.
Really?
Flawless. To this day, we have no idea how he learned how to play the piano. He literally walked up there as the service was going on and just started playing. Wow. And so I thought, if it happened for him, it's going to happen for me too. And I went up there and I made a fool of myself.
Your story ain't everybody else.
Not at all. I learned to stay in my lane after that one. Yeah. That's crazy. So, so music kind of comes from, something that your dad pushed you to and kind of helped, steer you towards that. And you mentioned, you started rapping because some of the friends in the neighborhood and all of that. So what do your Ghanaian parents think about you coming back? Dad, I'm over here spin some bars outside with the kids. What was that conversation like?
So, just to give my parents some credit, like they were never haters on some like, oh no, how can you rap? Like they was always like, I think they actually thought even from day one, like you're pretty decent, but you have to finish school because that's not really like a career. So my dad, he was always on some like, you need to finish, but my mom, she'd be like, oh, you pretty okay, but can you just finish school? So I say like toward like my senior year of college, that's when I was like, man, like the rap thing started picking up. I started getting a little bit of money, and I was always like flying in and out and then trying to come back to class with bags. So I was like getting ready to drop out, and my mom was like, she was like literally begging me, like, please just finish. Like, I know you're gonna do your rap thing, just please finish because you already did so much.
Yeah.
So, I was still like, I'm gonna drop out. So what I told my teachers was, I was like, man, look, this is what I got going on. I'm doing X, Y, Z. Please let me pass because if I don't pass, I'm not coming back to school. So they all kind of just like, all right, we're gonna get you. And they all gave me C's. When I literally came to class maybe 4 days that whole year. So yeah, that got me out the way. But after that, my parents' biggest fan, especially my mom, she like my biggest. Like if you look at my comments, she always comments. Yeah.
Dang, man, that's good of them though. Like, and as you said, giving them credit for that because I don't know how many parents would do that.
Yeah.
Like
they were never haters. No.
Bro, they'd be stuck in their ways and like, because I think sometimes parents can sometimes project what they wish they would have done in life on their kids. And from there, if they see their kid being potentially successful in something that like they maybe wish they would have wanted to do, like, yeah, they're happy that they're successful, but in terms of them like actively supporting them, it might not happen. It might be a little bit more passive and whatnot. And so it's super cool that they do that for you.
Yeah.
And outside of that, like, would you say you're a family person or a friends person in terms of like who you're closest with in life?
I'm definitely probably family person.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So then that support from them means a lot. You would say more so than, I mean, obviously support from friends means a lot, but you'd say that support from family helps you push through like various things.
Yeah, probably more. Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's special. Because I know for me, for example, I'm a little bit more of a friends person than a family person. Like, not to say me and my family aren't good, but just who I lean on and who I talk to.
For sure.
Whenever things are happening in life. And so for them, whenever I see them like support whatever we're doing or X, Y, or Z, like it just means a lot and you're able to push through, I think, a lot more than what I would otherwise. Because especially as you're starting something out, things can be tough and a lot of hurdles you have to jump through and whatnot. So what was it like as you were starting out your career in terms of not necessarily just the tough stuff, but what did that journey kind of look like, both like the awesome things that God did, but then some of the things that you had to kind of work through and build endurance through?
So I the start of my career, it was very like, it was really rough. Like it was like just putting out songs, nobody's really listening, all that stuff. And then, I got my friends, like my friends at the time, they were, like, my music, I say it's a little bit all over the place, eccentric, a little, it's interesting.
Yeah.
they were very more so like, oh, like 90s hip hop, you know what I'm saying, bars. Yeah. So they did like push me in a manner of like I need to be on top of my game, having bars and stuff, but it was very like forced. So I'm kind of in this thing of like, okay, I know I have to make music like this because this is what my friends make, but then I'm naturally like a little bit like this, and then you fight, and then it's like you're also not having that many fans and stuff like that, and so that it was real tough in the beginning. I put this one song out. I remember I put it out on Valentine's Day. And that's when like a couple of friends in my neighborhood, they kind of really started like, oh, you got some potential. Like, so, you know, slowly. Then I put out a mixtape, like my first one ever. That one did pretty good in the neighborhood. It got a couple spins in the neighborhood. Then it kind of went real quiet though after that, like still tough putting out singles, nobody really liking it. Then I met four people. I met two girls that went to my college, and then they was like, it was three actually. They was actually like my first real like fans who didn't need to be my fans at all. Okay. And they always really gave me support. Like, nah, you the truth. You got to work with this person. You gonna be up. Trust me. So they kind of pushed me. So I started getting more traction. Like they actually were telling me literally who to collab with, and I was listening, and then it was helping me. So I'm like, okay, yeah, like it's going good. Then I met two girls from Virginia, and they made me feel like, yo, you're like the best rapper ever. Like Nas, you're better than him. Like that's how this making me feel. So I was like, really? All right, that's where I started getting my confidence. Like, yo, I'm maybe one of the best rappers ever. Started putting out songs, started going. Then I had this one song called 30 and 10. And my whole like God is my boast campaign, like slogan, like it came from that song. So I had it, but I was like kind of like insecure about the song, like thinking people won't like it. So I showed it to them. They're like, "Are you crazy? Like this song, it's like gonna be the biggest song ever." So I was like, "Really? You think so?" So I put it out, and then it just went like literally like labels started calling me everything. So I was like, "Damn!" So they really gave me those five. They really gave me the confidence, like you can really do it. And I feel like God was definitely using them to get something across to me for sure.
Yeah, and as you're talking, you said the word traction. You know, for those of us that have no idea what you're talking about, because we're not necessarily in that space. What do you mean exactly, or what do artists or those kinds of people? What do you guys mean when you say, you know, you're getting traction from like a song? Is there some kind of website you go to and you see your name and you're like, this is how many people are listening to, or like what is that experience like?
So I like that you asked this because, you know, sometimes people will be like, yeah, like back in the day, I wasn't getting any plays. And it's like, that may be to you, that may be you were getting 50,000. Yeah. But to most people, that's awesome. But, you know, so it's like, to me, when I say I was getting no traction, I was praying for 100 plays. Like God, okay, if you give me 100 plays this time, I'll stop sinning forever. Like that's like I was praying. So that's when I say no traction, it was like around that. Maybe like a super good song would be like 1,000 plays, and then so it went to that to like, oh, I started getting 2,000 plays in like 2 months. That's like ooh. Then I started getting 1,000 plays in a week. Ooh, like type stuff like that more so, yeah. So that's when I started getting traction. That's what I'll say.
So you're not gonna say how much you've gotten
as of right now?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
And a lot more to come. A lot more to come. Yeah. Millions if I do say so myself. Actually.
Hey, I'm not even mad at it.
Yes. Yeah, bro. Mad at it. It's amazing. Well, one of the things that's unique about your music and something we talked about before recording is some convictions that you have and we'll just put it, the language that you allow in your music, and it's definitely unique. Before that, I should preface it. Do you consider yourself Christian hip hop, or what do you consider yourself?
So me personally, this is like the one question of all like Christian rappers, and it's like if you look at the definition like a Christian rapper. It really should just mean a rapper who is a Christian. Yeah. But I feel like the actual term that people make, it has so many different definitions.
Yeah.
And some people mean, when they say it, they mean, are you a rapper who doesn't cuss? Or are you a rapper who like raps on Hillsong type beats? Like, it's like stuff like that. So for me, I say I'm just a rapper who is a Christian.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm a Christian rapper. Like, I'm definitely always putting it in my stuff. So it's not even like a fear thing. I never fear it. It's just I'm not here for the connotations like of what it comes with, because I know I don't follow those rules myself.
Yeah, and fit in other people's boxes and things like that. Yeah, and I mean, you're friends with a lot of people in the
that'd be a big prerequisite too. Like, people think, like, I know people from around my neighborhood who are like Christians and they rap, and it's really good, right? And you will never, like, people will never hear about them or think they're Christian rappers, but they're so big, but they're not considered Christian rappers because they don't hang with no one else is a Christian rapper. Okay. So it's a very cliquey kind of thing. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even, I just do my thing, really.
Yeah, you're friends with people who want to be friends and who have good intentions and all that kind of stuff. So then with that background, going back, you make some choices with language that not a lot of people who are in the same sort of sphere make, and there seems to be some sort of confidence behind that. You've put out some tweets in the past and things like that, trying to share your heart behind it. But yeah, talk to us a little bit about that. What has God kind of done in you to give you confidence to kind of do that?
So I feel like, it's always a thing where you asking God, like, God, am I right? Like, do you like what I'm doing? You always gotta be in communication, because I can't be just awesome. Like, I know God thinks X, Y, Z, so I'm doing anything I want to do. Like, it's always in communication. God, what you think? If I say this time, maybe it was okay last time, but maybe not this time. So always in communication. But I think that I think it's very clear if you read the Bible that God values people who just be real. Like, I never see things in the Bible where God's like, he just follows the rules so well. Like, I usually always be like, you're trying and you're not really getting it right, but I see your heart is in the right place. I feel like God, that's his favorite type of people in the Bible from what I see. So, with that, and then obviously you can get into this whole thing of language where it's like, there's no such thing as an actual sinful word or words that are not sinful. So it's like, people going to disagree, and I'm okay for the disagreeing, but I got my own mission. I know what I be trying to do with my music, and sometimes people be just in church all day, and they be like, well, you can't listen. Well, obviously, like, if you're going to be in church all day, then obviously you shouldn't be playing my music there. But there's people outside of that context, you know what I'm saying? So maybe it's just not for you, and you just don't got to play it. So that's all it is. It's never a beef thing. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't attack anybody who feels like I don't want to do music that way, and I feel like nobody should attack me for how I want to do my music, too.
Yeah, and it's just like every artist has their role in a way, whereas there very easily could be people who come to hear of your music and from there come to know of other people like Indie Tribe or others who have the quote unquote clean language and everything that is fitting in the perfect box of Christian hip hop. And so it's something for you being able to be one of those artists that God uses to be able to overlap in both genres and hip hop that is not necessarily Christian and then Christian hip hop. And it's a really unique place to be in. Yeah. And something that really does take someone who has a pure heart for the Lord and whose intentions are in the right place. And like at the same point, I think a lot of it is, as you're saying, just about focus of like, what is the intention behind this? And a lot of times we don't really like to hear people's intentions behind things. We like to just judge things off of how they appear and then just and then just do away with someone or make a quick judgment. And so I just agree with you. I don't really know how valuable that necessarily is.
No. And one thing I want to say too, I always see people do this on the net. I'm not even saying you did it. Sometimes on the net, people would say, Foggy is like instant oatmeal. so people can go listen to someone like XYZ rapper who doesn't cuss. And I don't like that because, as we know, being around so many artists, you can have an artist that is the most like by the book Christian, and it's like they life or the things that they be doing behind the scenes is crazy.
It's not consistent.
So it's like I won't accept that because I quote unquote cuss that I'm gonna be instant oatmeal to this guy who is crazy. But you know what I'm saying? So I feel like my music is sufficient for whatever I want it to be, and then this music is whatever it wanted to be. So I just always want to say, just to put it on record, that I do not like that. Never call me instant oatmeal. That's okay.
Appreciate that, man.
Yes.
Yeah, that's real. Like, that's crazy. It kind of brings me to a point of, in terms of like, I think I've said it a couple times. I can't remember who said it, but musicians of today are our, like people's, modern day philosophers.
Yeah.
Right. So, whatever it is that you guys are making. Through music, that's what people are listening to. That forms and shapes the worldview and all that good stuff. So, like with that, how do you, I guess, approach your music as a whole? Not even about what Chase is about, but as a whole, how do you approach your music knowing that, hey, what I'm sharing, what I'm talking about,
people gonna hold on to it. Like
right, people are gonna hold on to it. It's gonna shape some little kid in Virginia or wherever it might be. It's gonna shape his worldview. So, how do you approach that with that understanding?
So, you're right, 100%, because nowadays they even want The Rock to be the president now. And it's just like, you want a wrestler to, but it's like, that's how people just like, I grab for anything. So because it's that way, I say with my music, I just always wanted to be, I know in my life, like I'm really trying to like follow God, hear what he's saying. And obviously I'm going through my ups and downs, mistakes, but I know if I'm true to what I really want to do as far as following God, how I'm going to live my life, then I feel like if you want to follow after me, that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not going, I can't talk about this because, such and such kid don't need to hear it, because at some point in your life, you're going to need to hear that. You know what I'm saying? You're going to need to hear about this. So I don't really think too much about what the kid's going to think. It's more so about, is it true to me? Is it something that I'm proud of that I can say? I can stand behind that. As long as that's it, then I'm cool with it, really.
Yeah. And just to follow up with that, I'm going to let you go in a second.
No, bro,
just to follow up with that, in terms of like your own music, do you ever like listen back to your own music? You're like, man, I don't know what in the world I was talking about back then, or you're just like,
I'm not gonna lie, I be co-signing everything. For the most part, there's something
that's like, good. There, that's good.
That's a little extra, but yeah, for the most part, I be co-signing it.
Yeah.
Good, man. And I think it is. From like the little bit that we've been able to talk and all that, like I think seeing the consistency in your life is definitely something that is super valuable and encouraging to a lot of the other artists that are in the space, because there's a reason why you're beloved in the space with all the friends and artists and stuff like that, man. Because they see who you are and they see your heart and they see that you're genuine in what you're doing. And I don't necessarily want to say that's rare, because I think that's me making a judgment on others, but it's always amazing and beneficial to have that. And
thank you, by the way.
Yeah, bro. It's something that is going to be amazing, like going forward. And so for you, what's the vision that you have for your music? Is it something that you hope to do for as long as you possibly can? Is there a certain sound that you hope to aspire to one day? Or is there any changes going on in your music right now where you're just like, okay, I used to kind of be like this, want to be like this maybe one day? Something like that.
So I feel like as far as where I'm aspiring with music, I'm trying to get to the place where, and I feel like some people would be like, sometimes people would say, oh, like you're gonna blow up soon. Da, da, da. I'll just be like, so honestly, like to me, I feel like there ain't no, like, I'm already happy where I am as far as I make enough money where I could do what I got to do. But I also make enough money where I don't have to do anything that I don't want to do. Like if I want to talk about this, I do this. If I want to make music like this, I do that, and it doesn't matter like what. So to me, I just feel like just the growth and to talk about more and more things and just go deeper, like, you know, content wise, just anything cool wise, style wise, like just to be better, like just keep chasing greatness for me. But it's not more so like a necessity. I feel like I never want to have to make music out of necessity or need or paying bills or nothing. Like I want to stop before I have to do that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, with obviously from what I'm hearing, you know, you want to stay true to yourself, be you, and in your music and as a person, and all that to be true. So whenever you meet people, you meet a person, somebody new, or wherever you might be, and you're introducing yourself, and they're like, "Hey, so what do you do?" Because that's what people always want to ask, and then you kind of let them know, and they stare at you. Like, what is that like? I can't picture it because I work like what people would consider a normal job. You know, I just do normal things in that aspect. So what is it like where it's like, I'm an artist.
So for me, this how I always, because I'm not I never tell somebody that I rap.
Okay.
Like, so it's just like, oh, let's say we're like at a pool table or something. So I'm just like, oh, let's play. So we're playing, and then so we're like, yo, so what do you do? I'd be like, oh, you know, I just like make music sometimes. I'd be chilling. And he was like, oh, okay, cool. So it's like make nothing of it. Yeah. And then boom, boom, boom. So the conversation always gets back to, oh, what's your Instagram? Let's connect later. So it's like, oh, okay, I'll show you my Instagram. They'd be like, wait, you're like a real rapper? I'm just like, oh yeah, a little bit. It's just rapping. That's how it always goes. So it's always funny. It's like I'm seeing it build up to this point where you find out that I'm like a real rapper. Yeah.
No, but it's because it's. I mean, we've all, you know, I'm just gonna say it. I'm not gonna say nothing bad, but like we've all had or known the people that wanted to be rappers in that aspect. And
I was one of them at some point.
you know, we got to start from somewhere, right? Yeah, and so sometimes it's like, but then they give up on that later. They're always trying to push their music, and you know, I understand the grind, but whenever you actually meet someone who's doing it, I feel like it's a little bit different than the homie from back home who's been trying for like 20 years now and nothing's moving. You know, so that's real.
And I just want to say to all the, you know, young aspiring artists out here, always make music for yourself. Don't make it because you want to be famous or rich. Just make it out of the purity of your heart and just watch what happens.
Yeah, man. And I think something else that the younger artists could pick up, but as well, honestly, a lot of them who are successful artists is something along of what you just said, is trying to be unassuming in a way, to whereas whenever people see you and interact with you a little bit, like you don't need to show off everything that you have from the very start, and is something where you don't need to be driving around like a super crazy car, all of the best clothes. I mean, obviously, y'all got on some dope shoes.
Yeah, I was like, I definitely didn't fit any of the.
No, bro. No, because you fit it in the way of you. Like whenever you introduce yourself, like you're being unassuming. You're not trying to be all up in front of people's faces and just be like, "Oh, look at me and what I do." Like you're someone who's just humble and someone who's like just who they are and their identity. And I think it is something that I strive to be. Is for a while there, I tried to. What was the word that I tried to use for it? For a while, I had the word inconspicuous. Okay. In my mind, where it's like can fit into kind of like anywhere and whatnot, but more so, I think God revealed to me like the word unassuming was something more for like a pursuit that I had, where it's just like, okay, you know, we're doing X, Y, or Z. God's working in these ways, but I don't want it to be something where it's like people assume, oh, like this is this XYZ like person doing great things. It's just like, no, like I'm just a dude. Yeah. And whenever you get to know me, like, okay, like we can get to have that conversation and stuff like that. And because not everyone needs to know everything about you. Yeah. And there's different levels.
No, I think that's real. Cause I mean, cause I work at a church. I'm a college pastor at a church. And so it's like, it's always weird whenever you meet someone, they're kind of asking you what you do.
Yeah.
And for me to come, hey, what's up? I'm a pastor. Like, to me, that's weird.
How was that
Right?
like too? Even because I feel like there's so many negatives that come along with even saying like you're a pastor.
Yeah,
It's like,
'cause
damn,
people
I
just-
might just be a really cool guy.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you know
You
what I'm
never
saying?
know.
Yeah.
If I just come out, everybody that I meet, hey, I'm a pastor. Like that, to me, that's weird. Like, I don't want to tell you that unless you really dig for it.
Yeah, I see what
You
you're
know?
saying, I see what you're saying.
Or I try not to because I feel like sometimes I've just let it slip. Then I realize, why do I need to share that with you?
Yeah.
You know, but now when people find out, the conversation kind of changes. You know, because then they get really serious around you.
Yeah,
You know,
like,
then they don't want to.
Should I not wear this shirt?
Yeah, they get a certain way, and
Yeah.
they want to just start asking you all these questions, and I'm
Yeah.
like, it's not that serious.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
I'm a person like you. But
That
but yeah,
probably
it's real.
has more negative connotations than maybe any job out there.
There's a lot that's associated with it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot that comes with that, especially in the society that we live in now.
Cause you got to deal with. See, you got some cool case like. People like, so you be on preachers and sneakers, or you know what I'm saying? Anything like
That bug is crazy. It's
Yeah.
like, wait, they're at the end of the day, they're just people like anybody else, and if they can afford the shoes, why is that an issue? See, that's my thing, right?
But let's not go on with the thing.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
not go on with that.
But
Let's not go on with that.
he took a video of the shoes. But if somebody can like to the point where it's like, so if I was to buy my shoes for like $200,
Yeah.
but now they're $1,000, you think I bought it for $1,000? No, I bought it when it was $200, but you don't know that. You just see me
true,
wearing
though.
it.
That is true,
You know,
though.
for example, because all my shoes that I bought, they're all just normal price, but then they skyrocket.
This guy rocket though,
You know,
aftermarket.
but that's a story for another day. We'll do a special
yeah,
episode
that's a
about
whole-
that. That's another episode. But no, that's cool though. That's cool. Just I guess on the last thing on the topic of music and all of that, was there ever like a temptation for you to what within the Christian world we would call make secular music or just make that kind of music where it's not so much God focused, God centric, not so much that. Not saying that that's all that you rap about, but to where you could just be like, I don't know, whomever, just making music like whomever. Yeah.
So it's crazy because people always think the temptation is he's gonna sell out and just do music like Chief Keef and just everything's gonna be girls and strippers and then he's gonna start making money.
Yeah.
And it's like the way to really make money is to be okay. I'm not gonna curse, even though I curse in real life, and just I'm gonna get on tour with these like Hillsong and da 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 and da 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 da, and that's how you make money. So the temptation is actually, do I live a life or portray a life that I don't really live in order to make money from this Christian world? Because if I was just to be like, oh, I'm rapping about everything, smoking weed, da da da. Not everything, guns, cool. It's like, what now? Now I'm in this big pool of everybody who do this. So it's like, now you gotta really be the nicest rapper out. You can't just be like, oh, well, I'm just the only person who does Christian music with Hillsong. You can't do that no more. So it's like, to me, that's never been the temptation. The temptation has been, maybe if I like chill out, then I can go on tour with this person. Because there have been times I was supposed to go on tour, and then there was like, you know what? We think our fans wouldn't really like your language, so you can't come. And that's like $10,000 gone that I can't have. So it's just like, the temptation was never, you should like not. Yeah, it was always, no, you should be more chill.
Damn.
For me, at least. Yeah.
And yeah, it's interesting because a couple weeks ago, whenever Kanye released Donda, some of us had Montel, Chaz, all them. We had a conversation about kind of what does the balance look like between like pushing the boundaries of Christian creativity and not compromising in your faith. And I think it just gets down to the core of just like, all right, well, what does it look like just to create art that is like true to who you are in that, and all the tensions that come along with that, and the prerequisites of figuring out who you are before you can even create something as an outflow of like who you are as a person. And so there's a lot of work that needs to be done in order to create something that is that resonates with people, that people see as consistent with your character and genuine.
Yeah.
And because I think a lot of people can sniff out whenever things are fake. And because I've seen that a lot in business where there's certain people who have a public platform and, you know, they portray this kind of character. Then they open up this business and their audience just like, where the heck did this come from?
Yeah.
Like they're just trying to make money here.
Right.
But the ones who are just like, no, like they brought this up so much in their content. Like, for example, a friend of mine down in Houston opened up a candy company. Well, he's been in the YouTube stuff for like 10 years now. And always throughout the videos, he would joke about how, oh, this candy isn't sour enough. This candy, this sucks. This. And it was a consistent joke, inside joke, to where then whenever his candy company is like, oh, and it's freaking blown up.
Okay.
And so it's amazing. And so I think people more so than we'd think can tell whenever things aren't consistent with actually who we are.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, bro. And so definitely just keep it up with that. It's going to be, yeah, bro. It's going to be good. We're excited for everything coming up. But the next topic we want to talk about was give you the opportunity to talk a little about, is English my second language?
It seems like it. Gosh, struggling more than this.
Gosh. But talk a little bit about your culture and Ghanaian culture and everything that comes along with that. It's one of the things we love to give people the opportunity to do because it's something that I think is sometimes a lot in the background, even though it can really, really
shape a lot of things,
who we are. So yeah, man, talk to us about the culture and how it's kind of grown you into who you are today.
Yeah, so for me, I lived in Ghana since till I was like about 5. So I lived in my granddad's house. I think it was like so many like uncles, aunts, cousins. It's very like tight knit family. You know, everybody got their work to do, even as a kid type stuff. And then when I came to America, you know, just like so many things, like, okay, we have our specific foods that we eat. We have a specific way that we treat our parents or how we speak to our parents, or we don't do this and XYZ and XYZ. We go to church this way and we worship and praise this way. So I feel like, you know, it's been so... Obviously, it's built me so much because that's like really what I know as far as like how I interact with family, how I interact with friends, how I interact with respect, how I interact with, you know, my work, you know, all that type of stuff. It's so vital to me, really.
Yeah.
Dang. So coming at you said when you were 5, you moved over here.
5
years. Into that point, it's like you mentioned food and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you go to school and you bring your, you know, Jollof or whatever the situation is, and then the little Tommy is like, ew, what is that? You know, because they're a little bit upset. I don't know how it was in Maryland, but over here, well, not here, but in Texas where it was, you know, growing up and trying to, you know, assimilate into the culture, you know, kind of struggling with that. So it's also a little bit about that, trying to come into the American culture and try to fit in, especially when you go home and you got these African parents, you know, at the house, and the rules are a little bit different.
Yeah, so the assimilation thing, that was such a big thing because... So I wasn't just outside. Like, I didn't ever used to pack my lunch. So I was always... Nah, never.
Dang.
I always went to got school lunch, so yeah.
Saved them there.
Yeah, for real, bro.
They definitely...
For real, man.
So when I first came to America, I was going to like a white school. So it's crazy because, you know, I'm very dark skinned. So like, I didn't even realize that I was dark skinned until I went to a black school. Yeah, like when I went to a white school, it's like, oh, that's Jesse, like da-da-da. Like, I mean, obviously people would probably make fun of my last name a little bit, you know, but it's kids, like, okay. So I'm like, I know I'm black, but I don't realize I'm really dark. Then I started going to a black school, let's say like 3rd grade. Then it's like, oh, this is like black kids, like, you know. I'm not gonna say the words. Yeah. So it's like, damn, like, okay. So now you starting to really get hit. Like, I remember, you know, we were listening to like nice, cool white songs, you know, at school. Now we was like DMX, 50 Cent is going crazy. Like, what? Like, So you're really like starting to learn this culture. So there was a point of learning so much, like let's say black hip hop culture, that it's just like I used to feel like, because where I went to school, there wasn't like so many Africans. There was some, but I wasn't too friends with too many. So it just be like, I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm not African enough, but then sometimes you feel like you're not really black enough. So it's always this like tug and pull. So it's just kind of like having those dual cultures too, and you know. But one thing about me, I never could really run from my African culture. I had to fully embrace it because like my skin was so dark. It's not something that's like you're not finna get away. It's like we know. So it was definitely like an embrace of both, but it was definitely always in the middle, like not feeling like you all the way here, but not feeling like you all the way there. That was a big thing growing up.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a lot of tension there. Because I remember we had a couple of people that would always say, "I'm from Europe." I'm like, "No, you're not." And a lot of, I feel like a lot of kids struggle with that. You know, especially earlier on, struggling with being ashamed of being African, almost in a sense. But then something happened. I don't know when it happened, but something happened, and everybody wants to be African now. And they want to listen to Davido and do all these things. I'm like, what happened? So yeah, that's pretty cool.
You know what's crazy? So for me, I remember like there was like a literal switch for me where it was like, you know what, like. Okay, so let's say like in high school, right? You talk to a few little girls here and there, but nothing crazy. So I remember going to college. I'm thinking like, like I talked to a few little girls here and there, but nothing crazy. And then there was a point where it's like, oh my gosh, like your skin, like it's like XYZ, it's like so tough, it's da da da. I'm like, damn, like. What happened? Like, when did it become like this? I'll never forget. I was just like, wow, the world has changed.
Yeah,
like something happened with the world. Yeah, I remember that.
No, that's real. That's real. Did you want to?
No, I think something that I was just going to bring up is I think y'all's point about the tension of like the duality. I think in small ways can relate to almost everyone in a way, because there's a duality of like their family and then the wider culture.
Yes.
Like for example, like my parents had various rules that like weren't the same as like the school's rules or other friends' rules and things like that. And so it's something that like for me looking back as a kid is like I'll just say I'm glad because my parents were like pretty lenient and trusting in a lot of things. Whereas I had other friends who their parents were just like, why can't they sleep over? What is this? Come on. Like, it's not like we're going to do like crazy stuff. We're just going to be here, watch freaking Jurassic Park. Oh, no. What's the Disney dinosaur movie? Land Before Time. Yeah. Watch that. Yeah. Okay. Watch that. And just have some popcorn, maybe some Oreos, and just hang out. But yeah, so just saying that to say, I think it's affected a lot more people than what we realize and results in a lot of insecurity and lack of knowing who we are if it doesn't get addressed, which then going to like what we talked about earlier is like, I think then that could result in us in terms of things that we're creating or whatever we're doing in life being from a place that is inconsistent, even though we don't realize it. Because we think we have this like self-perception of like who we are and things like that, but when really it's just like, no, like that's just kind of our ego lying to ourselves, when really like there's actual way who we are to other people. It's a little bit more of reality of who we are. And then off of our self-perception we create this or go do this job or whatever, and everyone's just like, that's not who you are. Why are you doing this? And so I wonder if listening to friends and family, I would say family as well, because I think they could see that as well, would help us a lot more in that. And something where it's just like, I wonder if this would be a little bit more fulfilling. And then addressing those, going to the root of it, addressing those kind of like questions of identity and whatnot and whenever we're younger could be a little bit better. Because a lot of times we just talk about whenever we're young, of like, oh, what do you want to do when you're older and stuff like this, rather than it's just like, hey, who are you?
Yeah.
And all of that. So
yeah, nowadays everybody want to talk about everything now. Talk about the traumas and everything. Like,
Everything.
Back then, nobody was talking about that. Yeah.
That's crazy.
All those things that shape you.
yeah, and now it's interesting because I wonder. I think it'd be interesting to get your thought on this. I wonder if at times we've almost overemphasized on that now, to where I had this thought where with like Kid Cudi and Juice WRLD, for example, with Kid Cudi in specific, and how he changed a lot of like music, and how, you know, it's okay to talk about things a little bit more emotionally, and like just all these things. And to whereas now a lot of artists, like that's almost all like what they talk about. Yet they're still depressed and they're still anxious and there's still all this stuff. And so what I wonder is like, is a kind of thing of like, oh, what you're focusing on, what you kind of attract. And this like overemphasis of it, does it have a negative feedback loop where like, if you overthink about this, it just results in something that's negative consequences, rather than, okay, if you address what it is, but at the same time be balanced in the pursuit of dealing with it. I wonder if it could be a little bit better. And obviously within the context of our faith, of being like, in a practical way, it's like, all right, God, thank you for what you've given me. But at the same time, like, struggling with this, so I'm going to surrender it to you and pray. So what's your thought on that?
I mean, you know, my thought is definitely like, it's just a balance of, because you definitely shouldn't be at a place where we're not talking about none of that stuff and da-da-da, but I definitely don't think, like, yeah, sometimes things and like everything, I think it's a little overemphasized sometimes. So yeah, because like you don't want to. I don't know. I feel like this stuff would be so touchy, and it's different for everybody. It's a case by case thing. But for me, I could say, you know, it's good to like unpack a little bit. But some things you really just needed to go through so you could be the person that you are today. And even sometimes the bad things that happened to you was for a good overall reason. So. It's a balance. Yeah, it's balance.
Yeah, there's definitely a balance there, and like you said, it was definitely a shift where people just start talking about everything. It's like, wow, this is a lot. But
you know what's crazy? I just want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I was with an artist the other day. Man, this is like a really big artist, and then I was like, we was about to take a picture. So I was like, oh, we're going to take a picture. I make sure my light is straight. Like, I got to make sure my light is straight. So, because it was a film picture. So I was like, you know, sometimes film, like, I'm really dark. So it could be, you know what I'm saying, like a mystery character.
Unlockable
character. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I make sure my lighting right. And she was like, don't ever make a joke about your blackness. I was like, I'm not making I'm just saying, actually, I want to make sure my lighting is okay so people can see me. But it's like, she was so sensitive to the fact that people say, when people talk about, let's say, their blackness, it makes people really hurt. So she wanted to make sure, like, no, you are not going to be traumatized, like, under my watch type thing. I'm going to make sure. And it's just like, that's to the point where it's like, okay, this is maybe a little bit too far. Like, I'm okay. I just want to make sure. But it's like, that's how the shift has changed. Because at first, everybody, maybe back in the day, would have been like, da-da-da. And then let's all join in on the laugh. And maybe that has a negative impact on me.
Right.
So it's like, it really is like a different space that we're in. But I try to cut you off.
You know those, no, you're good. You know those, what is it called? I mean, different countries call it different things. The African
diaspora.
That people wear nowadays.
Oh, that
shitty type of stuff. I remember I was in Austin, South by Southwest, and I was wearing mine from the Congo. My parents brought me one, not thinking anything of it. And I'm just wearing it. This kid, he sees me. He's like, "Bro, you get it?" And then he does this, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was confused. I was like, What do you think I get? I was like, okay, we are not on the same page right now. Sure. It's not that deep for me, but in that aspect. But so speaking of that diaspora, I like that word. It's an interesting word. So there are a lot of talks about various things in regards to African countries and culture and all that stuff. And one of those big like raging questions that always comes up. You know, I feel like has caused a lot of trauma. It's caused a lot of anguish and disbelief and doubt. And
slavery was not a choice.
Huh?
It was not a choice.
Oh,
Slavery was not a choice.
from brother Kanye, right? No. I'm talking about jollof rice. So from the people that we've had on that are from, you know, those places.
I mean, all over the place.
All over the place.
Nigeria. Ghana, Zimbabwe.
So from what we've heard, we have 3 right now. We have Senegal, Nigerian, and then y'all. So the question is always, you know, out of all these, you know, wonderful places, who makes the best jollof rice?
Okay, let me answer this question not being biased.
Good, because I got 2 more of these kinds of questions. So go ahead,
There we go. Good to know we have an unbiased judge.
Yes, I will try to be unbiased. So the reality is, this is the reality of the situation. Nigerian jollof is not the best. Period.
Wow.
Period. I'm not gonna go to Senegal yet. Just Nigerian, they don't make.
If you got other countries added in, because those are the only 3 we've heard of.
Yes,
so,
yes. They're like the way they make the jollof rice. There's no way. Like you know how like you might not know, but like you know Max from First Take.
Yeah.
He always be like, oh, well, if the fate of the universe, who would you want to shoot this?
Andre Iguodala.
If the fate of the universe, you wouldn't send Nigerian jollof to be the right?
That's crazy.
That the aliens try. You wouldn't.
That's crazy.
You wouldn't. You'd be like,
you know this is going online, right?
Oh, let it go. Let it go. They know.
Man, that's crazy.
They know.
The fate of the universe is like you're not saying Nigerian rice. That's a quote.
Oh my gosh.
Now, I would say this though. I've had good Nigerian jollof. So it really always does depend on who makes it, but on a consistent basis, I'm still gonna have to say Ghanaian jollof. But I don't know if I try Senegal, but there's a couple other places. I think Liberia, they had some good.
I didn't even know Liberia made any.
Yeah, they had some good. There's some other places, but obviously, I would say it honestly really depends on who makes it.
For sure.
Like a lot, yeah.
At the end of the day. Right?
But Nigeria is never.
That's not it.
No.
That's not the answer.
That's never the answer, exactly.
The fate of the universe.
Fate of the universe.
We got to send out our best jollof.
Yes.
Nigerian is not who we're sending out.
And I'll say to encourage you, that's been the common trend.
Yeah.
Really, right?
Nigeria's been losing. Surprisingly,
They know.
Nigeria's
They
been
know.
losing.
They know.
So second question, since you are an artist, a musician, creative, and all those words that you guys use that I really don't understand. I'm just joking. But so you were I can't speak English either. So you were in Africa for a period of time, and obviously you have your ears to the streets.
Okay.
Top 5 African countries that produces the best music.
You knew it was coming,
Took
bro.
it there.
Yeah, I got one more after this one.
Let me not go 5. I can't.
How many you got?
Honestly, I'm not that versed that I know what's going on in, like, you know, Liberia. I don't.
Yeah.
I would say, if I had to be honest, Nigeria.
That's been the consensus.
But I would say Nigeria has so much more people than every other country. So they gonna have it by default. But Ghana is strong. So I say per person in the country, it may be Ghana. But overall, it's Nigeria.
Yeah.
Nigeria got it. Overall, Nigeria. They got it. They got
We're not
it.
playing ourselves.
Yeah,
here.
they got it. They got it.
I'll give it to them. They definitely got
They do it. They do. Yeah.
They got a good one. Okay, last one. This one's a tough one too. So, along the same lines, I just need 5. If you could think of it. If not, just give me however many you can. You know, our people, they love moving. They love dancing. You know.
Don't scare me with this question, man.
Who got the best dancers, though?
Honestly, I gotta say Ghana number 1. Like, we got some iconic.
This man said Ghana to everything. Like,
nah.
What are we doing here? What are we doing
I was
here?
always trying to be
He
objective.
said Ghana to everything. What are we doing here?
Nah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The Zonto, like that took over the world.
I'll give you that.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll give you that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Ghana. I say Niger too. Because the thing is, when you're talking about like an African real culture, it's like what's big to them is different. Like when you talk about stuff that cross over, it really is only like Ghana, Nigeria, maybe nothing else really. Like it's really them two. So I say, them two in that order. I know the internet gonna kill me for this.
I'm not.
Well, I mean, this boy over here might kill you.
Yeah.
For not mentioning
That's crazy.
Congo.
I know. I
left us out of everything. Like I'm confused.
People can dance.
So now we can dance. Now we can dance.
They got whatever.
Rewind. Give him another chance.
You're right. Now Congo won.
There it goes. Now we're talking. Now we're talking.
Yo, I remember. Yeah. Okay, you're right.
All that hip that comes from us.
You're right.
We about that. Yeah.
Right.
Goodness, man. So on a less funnier note, to start to land the plane here, what would you say is something that American culture can learn from Ghanaian culture, and then vice versa? What do you think Ghanaian culture could learn from American culture?
So I say one of the things American culture can learn from Ghanaian culture is, I feel like, well, I don't want to say in American culture people are not family oriented, because people really are.
Everybody says this, so you're good.
Everybody said, okay.
Everybody said the exact same thing.
I feel like definitely in Ghanaian culture we are definitely way more family oriented. Like everything kind of start and stop with your family almost. I say we have like a real, and this is probably African culture in general, but we have like a real like affinity for like the show of everything. So it's like if we go to church, it's like, okay, we got to do this at this time and make sure you wear it. And it's like everybody knows it's ridiculous, but it's just like how we do it. It's like a show. So everything, I feel like that's cool because I feel like in American culture sometimes it's like everyone's like kind of like, we're so smart. We don't need to do that anymore because it doesn't mean anything. Then it's like before you know it, things get lost. It's like for an example, like in American culture, people would be like, we got Amazon. We don't need to go to the mall anymore. Then it's like, damn, but going to the mall was a cool culture of just putting on some cool clothes, walking around, just trying to even talk to girls. Like, now that's gone because of Amazon. Yeah. But see, in Ghana culture, they'd be like, nah, going to the mall is an event. Like, we're not just going to let Amazon take over our mall culture. So I feel like stuff like that, like, and I feel like Ghana culture can learn from American culture that there are some things that are a bit extra, like you don't have to keep doing this. We can evolve, like we can keep seeing, nowadays kids can make careers off being YouTubers. Okay, then I don't have to always keep pushing you to go get XYZ student loans and da-da-da, you know what I'm saying? So little things like that really. But it's good for everyone to have different cultures and we don't have one crazy one world type culture because that's what make everything beautiful really. So
and as we talked about before the podcast, we definitely agree with your thought on that. So
as long as nobody's being like hurt by a culture or something like that or being mistreated, it's good to have different cultures.
Yeah.
You have any more hard-hitting questions, bro?
No, I think that was it for him, man. He might get canceled after this one, but you'll be good.
Yeah.
I think probably one of the most impressive things about this podcast for me is your head did not fall off one time.
Oh, no. It's an art form.
I'm like, that head is barely on his head.
I'm known for like being able to like perfectly like.
I can tell. I'm like, that head is really not coming off.
It's because this boy just so smooth.
It's the waves. The waves keeping them on. That's crazy.
The waves. They don't even want to see all that. So like, it's my light work. I don't even wear the do-rag no more.
Yeah.
I be chilling.
Nah, that's real, but man, thanks. I enjoyed the conversation personally. Just being able to hear, just different things about, your upbringing and music and all that stuff. It's very informative. And a lot of the answers that you gave, I feel like were very unique in terms of how things that I personally haven't heard others say before in your space. So I appreciate the uniqueness that you approach everything with. So that's pretty dope.
Yeah, bro. Any last things you want to share?
Last things I want to say, I hear a lot of people say the space or the space that we're in. But the whole world is my space. I don't have just one space. That's all I want to say.
Okay.
Fogtavious Vandross, album on the way.
Hey, let's go, man. Yeah, bro. Appreciate you taking the time. Super excited to see everything that's on the way for you, man.
Thank you.
Just keep it up. Keep being true to who you are, man. And God's going to be able to continue to make a difference through you, bro. It'll be good.
Amen.
So, yeah, y'all. That'll be a wrap for us today.
Out, man.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in.
Yes, sir.
What? We'll be putting all of Foggy's information in the description if you want to go check out his music and all that. Personally, my favorite song of yours is Drop 40 with Sam Stan. I would definitely say that, bro. That song is a bop.
How long ago did you know about that song?
When did you release it? 2017?
Yeah, I was still in school at that time.
Because I want to say...
I want to say 20... yeah, about 2016.
Honestly, I want to say it was 2016, 2017.
Yeah, it was about 2016.
Because I was because I graduated college 2016.
Okay.
And so if I remember right, I played it at a party that we had. Yeah. Gosh, whatever. I'm fine. But played it because the house that I was living at was like the party house for lacrosse. Granted, I'm glad to say God kept me from a lot of those things that people go through in college, but that was my only that was my only song request through my whole time in college, and everyone was like, "All right, Chase,
it's kind of hard."
Yeah, you killed it. Yeah. So yeah, but Go check out his music.
I like that.
All of our information for Perspectives will be in the description as well if you want to support us and the podcast and outreaches and all that stuff. So thanks again for coming on, bro.
You already know. No problem, man.
Yeah. And until next time, much love. God bless.
I've been that nigga since 15. You can't be my baby, this really changed. Give up my shoulder to God, my spirit clean. Burn my know what like a rollerine. I can't worry about what a little roller think. I don't need no occasion, I win no mean. I don't rap it for fun, boy, really sing. Baby, in the nighttime I like Jody Breeze. When it turns system like Jodeci. All this polo in my shoulder lean. All this polo in my shoulder lean. Baby, in the daytime I like Jody Breeze. When it turns system like Jodeci. All this polo in my shoulder lean. All this polo in my shoulder lean. Okay.